My name is Shalom Namdi. I am that young lady that the Lord has shown great mercy. Privileged to serve with meeters and greeters. I am here to testify of God's goodness because that's actually my promise to God. I say, Father, Elroy, the God that sees me, if you keep to your own end of the bargain, I will return to share your goodness with the congregation on that same altar where you blessed me. And today, Elroy have done it. So many years back, I have been believing God for marital settlement. I've had series of disappointments, and the one that broke the camel's back was the one that happened in 2019, and it almost took my life. But to the glory of God, I am standing strong today, a better person. Fast forward to 2023, when Elroy brought to me my odogu, my evidence. As at the time he came, I have testified here on this same altar last year. As at the time he came, I was battling with a lot of ailments, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, fibroid, ascites, umbilical hernia. I'm that lady that Papa will always mention. I don't know whom you are, but you menstruate through your navel, your umbilicus. I am that young lady. And Elroy delivered me on this altar. And that is the same time when Elroy brought him in 2023, November 6th to be precise. He walked up to me and told me, Shalom, I would want to marry you. And I looked at him and said, hello, are you serious? He said, yes. And we got talking, we got discussing. Along the line, I said to myself, I must not build this foundation on lies. I had a meeting with him, and I decided to tell him everything that the devil has deposited. And after saying everything to him, I asked him, please, I would want you to go home, think about this, and come back and give me feedback. Do you still want to forge ahead with this marriage plan, or do you want to go back? He looked at me and said to me, there is nothing to think about. If I had married you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, as a whole being, and after 10 years, this negativity setting, will I leave you? I mean, no other conviction. At that very point, I knew this man was from Elroy. I knew God truly brought this man, and indeed, he is my evidence. And to the glory of God, as I already testified, Elroy delivered me of all these sicknesses on this very altar, and I have testified last year. Then fast forward to this year, 2025, we began the marriage plan. On the 18th of April, 2025, we had our traditional marriage. And on the 5th of June, 2025, was our civil wedding. On the 14th of June, 2025, everything was concluded. Elroy did it. Behold, my evidence. This altar gave it to me, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much, Papa. We love you. We celebrate you. The oil on your head will never run dry.
NSPPDians. It is true, what God cannot do does not exist. My name is Evans, testifying from Ghana. We got married in August 2021 and have since been trusting God and believing Him for the fruit of the womb. After about a year, there had not been an issue, so we decided to visit the hospital to find out what the cause might be. It was then that my wife was diagnosed of bilateral tuber blockage, and the doctor explained that because she was blocked in both tubes, it was just impossible for her to conceive naturally, and that the only way she could conceive was through IVF. We became worried, but we were trusting God for a miracle. After about another year, in May 2023, we decided to visit the hospital again. Perhaps God has performed the miracle we were expecting on the inside, which was yet to manifest on the outside. We were quite disappointed because the report was still negative. Towards the end of 2023, we became more worried because as of that time, we have not heard our kind of case mentioned on the altar. Neither have we heard anybody testified about our case. But in January 2024, precisely on the 29th, a woman from Nigeria testified about how God had reversed bilateral tuber blockage in her. Our hope was renewed and our faith was refreshed. So we continue to pray and trust God for a miracle, believing that the God who did it for her will surely do it for us too. In February was the Ghana conference, so we attended and we became more hopeful. NSPPDians, after about 3 months, my wife was confirmed pregnant. The journey was a smooth one. There had not been any complication. In December 2024, our evidence arrived, our bundle of joy. Pastor Jerry, as to whether the tubes were unblocked or the tubes are still blocked, we do not know. All that we know is that our evidence has arrived. See our bundle of joy. Pastor Jerry, her name is Eroila, gift of Eroi. Indeed, what God cannot do does not exist. What Eroi cannot do does not exist. May the oil on your head never run dry. God bless you. NSPPDians, what God cannot do does not exist.
Praise Jesus, what our God cannot do does not exist. My name is Ruth and I'm recording my ongoing testimony from Boston. My journey began in 2022 after a car accident. I went into the doctors and everything was fine. But my journey took a turn from 2023 January. I went in because I was having shortness of breath. I was told that I had fluid. They tapped it out and said it was due to the trauma of the car accident. Then after 2 weeks, I ended up back now. And this time I had collapsed lung and also had fluid. So they did put tubes in me to drain the fluid and also the air. And I went back home thinking everything was fine, but the journey continued in February, in March, in April, and May. They now finally diagnosed me with thoracic endometriosis. They did a surgery to stop the fluid from reaccumulating, but it never stopped. It continued the whole of 2023 up until December. It was a journey of in and out of hospital, procedure, surgery, to a point where now the nurses would ask the doctors, could it be something that you're missing? But according to the doctors, they had tried what they knew best and nothing was working out for me. In November, now because the fluid was reaccumulating, now the doctors were like, because of the many procedures and the many surgeries I've had, there's nothing they will do for me. So I went in home disappointed. In November last year, I went in because of the same symptoms. The doctor said, now because you've had such a break, this surgery would work. So we tried in November the surgery, it did not work. We tried in December, it did not work. We tried in January, and this time I was so exhausted, in and out of hospital, procedure, surgeries, nothing was working out. I asked them if I could just go home, because at this time I was so traumatized because of the journeys of surgeries in and out, and nothing was working out. But I thank God for one lady, Virginia, God bless you so much. She's an NSPPD. She introduced me to the altar of fire after seeing the pain that I was going through, and she knew that if I joined the altar, God would do it for me because he's in the altar of fire. And so I did join. Pastor Jerry declared thoracic endometriosis, let it be reversed.
Thoracic endometriosis. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed.
My God, my God, my God. I keyed into that word. I remember Virginia called me, Gloria called me. They're both NSPPDians. And they say, did you hear your word? And they stirred up my faith. In the next morning, after they did the scans and the x-ray, I remember one of the doctors just came by and said, you're ready to go home. Do you have anybody to pick you up? Oh my God. It was the greatest gift for me. So I called in a few people to just come and pick me up. And so I went back home. And now in June, it's been 3 months. I haven't gone back to the hospital. I'm coming back like that one leper to declare that I'm healed. I've been made whole. I've been restored. And devil is such a liar.
Good morning, Pastor Jerry. Good morning, NSPPDians. My name is Christina. I am from Zimbabwe. I want to give a testimony of what God has done for me through NSPPD, through the altar of fire. Pastor Jerry, I had a tumor on my throat for about 3 to 4 years, and I was scared to go to the doctor to have it checked out. So in 2024, my daughter sent me a link for the altar of fire. I watched it briefly, and I stopped because I didn't understand what was going on. Come 2025 May, my daughter sent me the link again and I started watching it. I started going on the altar of fire every day. Then I had the courage to go to the doctor. After watching, when I went to the doctor said this thing could be cancer, could be throat cancer, it could be thyroid cancer. So I was referred to go for a scan and I went for the scan. When the scan results came in, they said this tumor was about 3 centimeters and didn't look good because it was on stage 4, cancerous. Pastor Jerry, I was so scared. So I had to go again for a biopsy. So I went in for the biopsy and I had to wait for 2 weeks for the results. Whilst I was waiting for the results, the word of knowledge came. Pastor Jerry, you mentioned that throat cancer is reversed.
Cancer of the throat. Cancer of the throat. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is alive. Oh, you know, so let it be reversed.
Thyroid cancer is reversed.
Cancer of the thyroid. Cancer of the thyroid. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is alive. Oh, you know, so let it be reversed. Let it be reversed.
And I held on to the word. I knew that was my word. Then you also mentioned that what you fear will not happen.
I announce to you by the message of God, what you are afraid of will not happen.
I knew that was my word. So I held on to the word. Pastor Jerry, when I went for the results after 2 weeks of the biopsy, the doctor said, good news. This thing is not cancerous. It's a benign tumor. I knew the word had gone ahead of me. Cancer, the throat, reversed. Thyroid cancer, reversed. Then the doctor suggested that I should have the tumor removed. And she referred me to a throat cancer surgeon. When I went to the throat cancer surgeon suggested that my thyroid should be removed because the tumor was on my thyroid. So I was booked for an operation. On the 2nd of June, I went for the operation to remove my thyroid. So when I was going to the theater, on my way to the hospital, I was praying in my heart that God should not let my thyroid be removed. Nothing broken, nothing missing. Nothing broken, nothing missing. So I went there with the hope that they will not remove my thyroid. Pastor Jerry, behold, when I came out of the operation room, out of the theater, the nurse said, oh, thank God, your thyroid was not removed. They just removed the tumor. Pastor Jerry, I thank God. So I'd go home and wait for about 2 weeks to go back to the doctor. So I went back again to the doctor after about 2 weeks after the surgery. Then the doctor said, ma'am, this tumor is not cancerous. There is no need for me to see you again. There is no need for you to take any medication for the thyroid because we didn't remove your thyroid. Pastor Jerry, thank God. What God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not exist. Error. Thank you, Jesus. Pastor Jerry, keep on praying for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Somebody celebrate a Roy. 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 Someone give the Lord a loud shout.